All right, my friends, happy Friday and welcome back to another Dividend Happy Hour. Hope you guys had a great week. I know I did. In fact, I actually had something really cool happen in the portfolio this week. I want to show you real quick. I'm going to put this up on the screen. Let me know if you guys see it. Cool little milestone happened in the portfolio. Just wanted to show you guys real quick before we do our cheers here. But let me know if you guys see it. Just a cool little thing. I've never seen this happen in the portfolio before. And I think you guys, if you're familiar with the channel, if you're familiar with the portfolio, I think you'll get it real quick. Let me know when you see it. There we go. You guys are too good. Anthony's got it, 70K. Shamir says 70K. Yeah, Raheem on the ball, 70K. That's right, guys. This is the first time I have ever seen $70,000 in this portfolio. So cool little milestone. I would imagine that I'm not the only one whose portfolio is sitting at all-time highs. I'm sure that's the case with a lot of us after this week, which is a very bittersweet thing. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. Before we kick off our usual toast, I do just want to go through the chat real quick and just say what's up to everybody. Say what's up to everyone here who is tuning in from the get-go. You guys were all ready for action tonight. I see Kevin in the building. I see Pat. Shamir's here. Shannon's here all the way from Atlanta, Georgia. I don't know what that accent was, but Kevin's here. Good to see you, Kevin. I already said what's up to Kevin. Kevin, you get two what's up for me. Anthony, Phil, Paolo, Janice, Charles, Shamir. Did I already say what's up to Shamir? Yeah, Shamizzle, you get two as well. Who else we got? Adon, Coyote Sunglasses in the building. We got Thomas here, back again for another Dividend Happy Hour. That's right. And in case this is any of your guys' first time tuning into the Dividend Happy Hour, we do this live stream every single week, every Friday night starting at 5 p.m. Pacific time, 8 p.m. Eastern time. So there's sometimes where we don't quite do it on this day, or sometimes I'm not around, but for the most part, we're doing this every single week. So if this is your first time tuning in, I hope you enjoy it and I hope you come back. We're going to have a fun stream tonight. But with that said, why don't we, guys, why don't we kick it off the best way we know how? Grab whatever it is you're sipping on, and I'll explain what this is in a moment. It looks pretty gross probably from your guys' end, but here's to you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in with me tonight. And also here's to the pursuit of that sweet, sweet cash flow. Here's to those dividends, which is what's really bringing us together tonight. But more importantly, here's to you guys. Thank you for tuning in and hanging out with me. Cheers. Okay, so I want to hear a few things from you guys here in the live chat. You got to let me know. Number one, what did you buy this week? Which stocks did you add to your portfolio? I'm curious to know. Curious to see what you guys all bought this week, actually. Number two, what are you sipping on tonight for the Dividend Happy Hour? What'd you bring to drink? I'm sure some of you guys, I know Chris out there has got his energy drink. It looks like Nathan here has chocolate milk. There you go. So yeah, let me know what you're sipping on tonight. And number three, did anything cool happen in your guys' portfolio? Like we saw just a moment ago, I'm sitting at all-time highs. I'm sure a lot of you guys are as well. So yeah, let me know if anything cool has happened to you guys this week in the portfolio. Maybe in addition to all-time highs, maybe you, I don't know, maybe you hit a new income milestone as well. Maybe you're officially bringing in $1,000 per year of annual dividend income. Yeah, you know what I mean. I know my friend Wayne Nichols hit a really cool milestone in his portfolio this week. We were texting about it. I don't think Wayne's watching right now. He might catch the replay, but Wayne hit 1,000 shares of Realty Income in his portfolio, which is just unbelievable. He showed me that basically now with that, the monthly dividends just from Realty Income amounts to like $260 per month, just from that one position, which is insane. But yeah. So anyway, let me scroll down here and see. Let me see what we got here with your guys' milestones and whatnot. I want to hear what you guys got to say here. So we got Deepa, first time in the building, first time catching the live. Well, thanks, Deepa. Appreciate you tuning in. There we go. Thomas, thank you for the email on weightlifting, Ryan. I appreciate it. Cool, man. Yeah, I hope you, I apologize again for the extensive voice message. I sent Thomas close to like a 12-minute like voice recording, just talking about some weightlifting stuff. So I apologize to be long-winded with all of that, but I hope it was helpful. Let's see. Yeah, Salvatore's got a little fountain Coke from McDonald's. It's been a long while. You know, believe it or not, guys, I actually had McDonald's for the first time, and I couldn't tell you how long the other night. My lady and I did a little staycation on the strip, so we got some late night McDonald's, which was okay. It was good. And I've actually been bad this week. I had McDonald's Wednesday night. I had In-N-Out Burger yesterday, and I had Juan's Flamin' Fajitas today for lunch. yeah, wasn't good. I met up with my friend Adam, my new friend Adam Kahn, aka the Rational Investor here on YouTube. You guys should definitely check out his channel. But he's another Las Vegas local, so we were able to get together for lunch and hang out for a couple hours, and it was fun. We got to talk about a lot of cool stuff, a lot of stock stuff. And if you guys aren't already checking out his channel, I think you'll enjoy it. So head over to the Rational Investor here on YouTube. We talked about doing a live stream together sometime soon, so you guys will hopefully see him on the channel sometime soon. Okay, as far as buys, I see Virtual Party Center bought his 100th share of SCHD. Very nice. That's a cool milestone. That's awesome. As far as purchases, I see some CVS, Starbucks, Snap-on, SCHD. This is an interesting milestone too. An evil one, according to Adon, bought my 666th share of SCHD. I don't know if that's a very impressive number for sure. A devilishly good number. That's a good way to put it. There you go. I see Bear Fan, Realty Income, and McDonald's. Good pickups there. Let's see. I think I missed a comment. What was Shamir talking about there? Oh, this is cool. This is awesome. Okay, Cameron here said, you got me into SCHD and I'm going 90% into it. I think that's a great move. I'm 21 years old and I have 44 shares so far. Dude, great job. 44 shares of SCHD. You are on fire. Keep it up. Okay, let's keep going here. Some more purchases I see. Excuse me. Bristol Myers Squibb. That's a good one. They're at their 52-week low. Coca-Cola is at their 52-week high. Coca-Cola has actually been kind of on a tear lately. Let's see. I see Visa, Johnson & Johnson. Couple people picking up Visa, it looks like. Google, good stuff. There you go. Nathan with a cool little milestone. My portfolio hit 20K this week at all-time highs. Nice, man. Good job. And Nathan, remind us again here in the chat how old you are. I think you might be 18 or 19. Is that right? I maybe even younger than that. You might even be 16, 17. But let me know in the chat. What's your age again? What's my age again? I was actually just listening to Blink-182 literally before the stream went live. That's what I listened to get myself hyped up. Fun little fact. Okay, what else do I see? I see some more Starbucks. Daniel, so interesting. Sold out of, I'd be curious to know more about this. Sold out of Agree Realty and bought VICI Properties. I'm curious to know the thought process behind this. Curious to know, Daniel, if you wouldn't mind sharing. I mean, you don't have to go super in depth, but yeah, any sort of insight on that move, I'd be curious to know. There we go. Salvatore, cool little milestone. I got over 40K in my dividend portfolio. Nice. Burn Survivor also with another all-time high, 32K in the portfolio. Zero to Hero, combined portfolio value between Roth and taxable, 25K. That's awesome. Good stuff. Oh, wow. Powerhouse just hit 200 shares of SCHD in 2 years. That's great. Love it. I cannot wait to be at that point. Yeah, Rolly said, I added 5 shares of SCHD. Love the movement. Yeah. SCHD, it is kind of a movement in a weird way. It's a positive one though, for sure. Can't hate on stacking that cash flow. So good job. Up to 35 shares. What else we got going on here? Nieces and nephews, a few interesting pickups here. Really solid companies, Lowe's, Coca-Cola, and Waste Management. Nice. Good job. Oh, there we go. Mo Money. Hey, Ryan, out for summer. Nice. Happy to be here live finally. Well, I'm happy to see you, my friend. Thanks for tuning in. Are you out of school for summer? Or you're out of what are you out from for summer? I'm curious to know. Bought some Starbucks in Alibaba this week. I thought I saw that Alibaba announced that they would be paying a dividend. While we're on the subject, guys, let's jump over here and look into that. Because I could have sworn I have not been a little bit out of touch this week, but I thought I saw that they were going to be paying a dividend. Maybe I mistook that. Am I mistaken on that? Let me know. Let me know here. I mean, I guess they're paying, looks like one a year, I suppose. So maybe this is old news. Maybe I don't know what I'm doing here. Maybe I'm tripping. Maybe I'm tripping. Maybe I'm amazed at the way you love me all the time. Who is it, guys? Maybe I'm afraid of the way I love you. Okay, here we go. Interesting. What do you guys think about this? End of year S&P target, 5,800. What do you guys think? Could we get there? I don't know. I don't know. This is a good question, though. Thoughts on SCHG? Decent to pair with SCHD? I do think that's a decent pair with SCHD. Kind of on this topic, in Sunday's video, for the first time ever on the channel, I'm going to be doing a few portfolio reviews. I got a lot of really great submissions. So any of you guys who submitted your portfolio to be reviewed, thank you so much for doing so. I'm excited to do it. And Thomas here actually is one of the portfolios we'll be reviewing, and he has both SCHG and SCHD in his portfolio. And it looks like he picked up a little more. So yeah, I'll be talking about that a little bit more in Sunday's video. It should be a fun one. And if you guys want to have your portfolio reviewed by me in one of these upcoming videos, there's a link to the form to just fill it out. It's super quick, just to gather some quick information on you and your portfolio. And that'll be where you submit it to have it be reviewed. We'll see how this video goes. It's going to be the first time doing it, like I said, and I'm excited for it. I'm going to film it tomorrow morning. Got my notes all ready to go. And I think it'll be fun. I got some, like I said, I got a ton of really great submissions. So it'll be fun to go through these and put them in a video. And I hope you guys enjoy it too. So we'll see what happens. It could be a dud. The video idea could be a total dud, but I thought it sounded cool. Thought it sounded like a fun thing to do. So we're going to give it a shot. Dexter here says, I hear they are closing the Mirage on the Strip. Yeah, so the Mirage is going to be closing, I think, in July. It was bought out by the Hard Rock. So it's going to close in July, and then I think it's going to take a couple years for them to do all the renovations, but it'll reopen sometime in 2027, and it'll be the Hard Rock. So, which is kind of interesting. So there used to be the Hard Rock Hotel here in Las Vegas. It was where the Virgin Hotel is now, which is right behind, like, it's going to be right behind like Planet Hollywood and over there, a little bit off Strip. But and the Virgin's a really cool hotel. When we had our wedding here last month, we all stayed at the Virgin for a few days. It was really cool. But interestingly, the Virgin used to be the Hard Rock. So the Hard Rock went away, became the Virgin. Now it's going to come back and take over where the Mirage is right now. So, but yeah, which is kind of sad. The Mirage is a pretty pretty iconic property. It's that was one of Steve Wynn's big accomplishments before he opened the Wynn. And also the Bellagio as well was I think he had a hand in the fountain show there at the Bellagio. I could have that wrong, but I know the Mirage was a lot of his doing. So yeah, anyway, let's move on. I meant to tell you guys earlier what this is. This, I know it looks kind of gross and it's kind of like separating now, but this is just some green juice and carrot juice together. I don't know. It just, believe it or not, it sounded good. So yeah, it's what we're sipping on tonight. Okay, let's keep going. Powerhouse. Ryan, you live in Vegas? I do, my friend. I've lived here in Las Vegas for about 1.5 years now. Absolutely love it. So, but yeah, I'm out here in Vegas. Okay. There we go. Thomas likes Blink. There we go. Nico started a position in Zoetis. Good move, man. That's awesome. Love it. Okay, Nathan, I just turned 20 actually. So 20K invested at 20 years old. Man, that's fantastic. You are so ahead of the game. It's not even funny. Keep it up. Proud of you, man. And guys, Nathan has a really cool channel too. He puts out some really good videos. So I highly recommend you check out his channel. Really good stuff. So keep it up too with that, Nathan. You're doing a good job. Okay, Ryan, Warren Buffett purchased Chubb. I know isn't that something? Russ actually put out a good video on that the other day. If you guys haven't had the chance to check that out, definitely do so. But yeah, Chubb looked like a pretty interesting purchase. So, ooh, this is a good question. But before I get to that question, I want to shout out Christian here real quick. Only $200 away from hitting 30K in the portfolio at 21 years old, dude. Good job. Good job. You guys are some of you young guys, you guys are so ahead of the game. It's not even funny. So I started really getting serious with this investing stuff when I was probably 25, 26 years old. And you guys are just, once again, so far ahead of the game. Good job. It's awesome. It's really cool to see that. But anyway, getting over to this, Logan asks, what do you think about M1's decision? And I'm sorry about this, guys. Once it gets like spring, summertime in Vegas, and after the daylight saving shift, the lighting here just gets so weird. And you get this. So if I move in any sort of direction, I get kind of these. So I apologize. It might happen a bit more. But anyway, Logan asks, what do you think about M1's decision to add a $3 monthly fee to all accounts under 10K? Also heard they're randomly canceling credit cards from customers. I don't know anything about the canceling of credit cards, but I don't personally have an issue with the $3 monthly fee. $36 a year. I'd rather it be something like that than like a percentage of assets. You know what I mean? I'd rather them do that than take like 1% of assets per year or something along those lines. So I don't personally have an issue with a $3 monthly fee. I think for all of us long-term investors, I think if you're a long-term investor, eventually, sooner or later, you're just going to get past 10,000 in the portfolio. So paying that fee is only going to be a temporary thing. So like I said, I don't personally have an issue with it. Okay, this is a really good question as well. And I'm also going to be talking about this a bit more in my video coming out Sunday. But Dub B says, random topic, but talking about buying. I want to buy more Realty Income, but it's about 12% of my portfolio. Should I keep going or move on to something else? I have 50 shares and my goal is to eventually get 100 of it. So hypothetically, let's say you were to just continue going on to the 100 shares from here. When it's all said and done, that would make, if you're doubling your position, that would eventually make Realty Income 24, maybe even more % of your overall portfolio. And I personally think that's a bit much. Even though I do really like Realty Income, It's one of my largest holdings personally, but I think having it be a quarter of your entire portfolio is kind of overkill. But at the same time, if you think Realty Income's a good buy right now, and you want to take advantage of buying it at its current prices, and you think it's going to go up from here, then now would be a good time to acquire shares. And then once you do get that to 100 shares, even if it's 25% of your portfolio, let's call it, over a long period of time, you're likely to even that out by moving on and buying other things. So truth be told, I don't have a definitive answer on what's going to be the right move here. I think that's something that you'll have to determine on your own. And I think when you get to the bottom line, you just have to ask yourself whether or not you're going to be comfortable holding 25% of your portfolio in Realty Income. So I think if the answer to that question is yes, then okay, maybe continue buying from here. But if you're looking at this thinking, 12% is kind of already a lot. I like Realty Income, but I could be wrong about it. So maybe I better stay more diversified. Then, that tells you something as well. So hopefully that helps. Like I said, that's not a definitive answer, but it's not really a black or white thing. Oh, this is cool. Charles here says, huge milestone, over $101,000 in 4 portfolios. Nice. Bought 100 shares of Realty Income and kids almost got 10K in SCHD. That's great, man. Few cool little milestones there. Yeah. Okay. I see. I'm a little bit behind in the chat. I'm about 10 minutes behind. So you guys are talking about Alibaba's dividend. Yeah. So it's an annual dividend. Okay. There we go. Shout out Michael with the Paul McCartney. There you go. You got it. Christian, did you buy any stocks this week? I sure did. I bought some more Starbucks, and someone asked earlier, I missed this in the chat. Someone asked earlier how many shares of Starbucks I own, and I'll show you real quick. So going back over to my spreadsheet, I officially have 60 shares of Starbucks, and my average cost is starting to get back down there. Before, like when I started buying it again after the dip or after the drop, I was at about 55 shares, maybe 54 and a half, somewhere in that range. And my average cost was just above $90 per share. So by dollar cost averaging these last few weeks, I've already brought my average cost down a couple dollars, which is good to see. And I I think I'll keep going from here. So yeah, 60 shares of Starbucks. I really like that. And actually, guys, another cool little milestone in the portfolio. So this is just my taxable brokerage account, my quote unquote main account. Couple cool things with this one. So I think this is an all-time high market value in this portfolio as well. I've seen 60,000 before, but I think it's just barely been over 60,000. So I think this is at an all-time high right now. But along with this portfolio is now officially bringing in over $2,400 per year. So now in this one portfolio, I'm officially averaging $200 per month, which is cool. That wasn't always the case. This is the first time that's been the case. Usually when I look at my annual dividend income and talk about it, it's with both of these combined. So it's cool to see that little milestone happen just in the taxable account. So really like it. And overall too, guys, sorry, I'll stop. We'll get back to the chat after this comment. I'm really happy to see where the overall dividend stats are with this portfolio too. I think this yield is really nice, 3.8%. And I think with the yield where it's at, I'm really happy to see this dividend growth rate where it's at as well. I think these two combined are really solid stats overall. So I'm really happy with how the portfolio is shaping up. So let's see. He was talking about in the world. That's funny. Yeah. You guys are excited for the portfolio reviews. I hope it turns out good. It's going to be a bit more loosey-goosey than a lot of my other videos. A little bit less scripting. I'm kind of going to go off the cuff a bit. So we will see what happens. Sorry, I'm seeing this comment. I'm pretty sure this is just like a trolling thing. I don't think that's a legitimate comment. This is good. Hagan says, how are you liking Vegas? Just moved out here myself. Nice. Where did you move out here from, if you don't mind me asking? And what prompted the move? What made you want to move out to Vegas? I personally love it. I've only had a good experience living here, and I will say in pretty much every way it's exceeded expectations. So I'm really happy to be living out here, and I hope you come to like it as well. But yeah, I'd be curious to know what brought you out here. Okay. Arvin, can you shout out Kaveen? Did I pronounce that right? He is my son watching the show with me. He wants you to say hi. What's up, my friend? I hope I apologize if I mispronounced your name. Arvind, you'll have to let me know the proper pronunciation so I can correct it. But thanks for watching. Really appreciate it. There we go. Adon, if you got a juicer, carrots, apples, and lemon juice equals good. Yeah, with ginger. Yeah, my wife made something similar to that recently. I don't know if she put apples in it. Maybe it was more pineapple, but she did a couple things where it was like a more carrot-based juice, kind of like what you described, and there was another one that was more like a green type juice. I think both of them had ginger, and they were really good. Yeah, so I hit Vegas every summer break. Yeah, you'll have to let me know next time you're here. You ever go to Pink Box on Fremont? Not that particular one. I don't go to the one on Fremont, but there is a Pink Box literally right around the corner from where I live. I could walk there. And yeah, very delicious donuts. Very delicious donuts. So I don't think the Pink Box is here, but there used to be a really good donut spot down near Fremont called the Donut Bar. You'll have to let me know if you ever went there. They closed, I think, a year ago or a couple years ago, but I remember that being a good spot. Yeah, this is a good tip here from Michael. Just a tip for the younger investors that haven't experienced a major recession or market crash. Do not panic sell. If and when your portfolios drop by a third or a half, it will test every ounce of your patience. Honestly, Michael, that's actually really good, a really good reminder for me as well, because I haven't experienced something like that yet. So, and it'll happen eventually, right? Like at some point we're bound to experience something like that. And yeah, I'm very interested to see what it feels like to go through something like that. Let's see. Let's keep going. Dexter, you think Starbucks is going to bounce back? I only asked because I used to go 4 to 5 times a week, and now I only go 2 to 3 times a month. I have the money, but would rather keep that money than spend $7 a cup. Yeah, I get that. And I do think Starbucks is going to bounce back. It might take some time. Like, they obviously just had one pretty poor quarter. They might have at least a couple more or a few more. But zooming out, over the next 5 years, over the next 10 years, I'd be hard pressed to picture a world where Starbucks doesn't exist. So I do think they'll bounce back. But yeah, I think at least in the short term, when they bounce back, depends on, at least in some capacity, what happens with the overall economy. So, but yeah, I feel good about Starbucks from a long-term perspective still. We actually went there this morning. I took my wife to work, and on the way, she wanted to get a Starbucks, so we stopped there. And I mean, as per usual, it was jam-packed. There was line around the corner. So not that that's everything, not that that's indicative of, everything, but it's not nothing, I don't think. Let's see. I would love to just take a peek at the dividend growth rates that you have placed for your positions. I can show you that real quick. So let me show you. We'll go over here, go over to the positions page. Let me zoom in a little bit. You can just take a quick gander here. So here's the dividend growth rates, and these are all from Seeking Alpha, this column right here. So I get all the 5-year dividend growth rates from Seeking Alpha. So this is my main taxable brokerage account. Okay. Check that out there. And then going over to the positions page for my Roth IRA, which is just SCHD and VU. Excuse me. Once again, these are the dividend growth rates from Seeking Alpha. So this portfolio, looking at my Roth IRA, looking at the dividend stats, we've got a 2.5% starting yield. Okay. So this is, just classic dividend growth stats right here. Low, mid 2% yield, double-digit dividend growth rate. So when you pair that with the dividend stats here, a bit of a higher starting yield, about 4%, but still an 8% average annual dividend growth rate or across the entire portfolio, which I think that's a really solid mix in my opinion. I'm very happy with that. But when you combine those two, this is what you get. So hopefully that helps. Okay. All right, Mike says it's real. So let's go back up to this. Well, let's just address this. And if it is real and if it is sincere, I apologize because last time I gave kind of a snide remark and to this comment, and I thought it was because you were just trolling. But if this is real and if this is your actual situation, I absolutely do not think you're a loser. No, 100% no. Why? In serious question, why? Why do you think you're a loser? And also, how did you get a $350,000? How do you have $350,000 but no job? Maybe that's what's tripping me up, and maybe that's why I think you're trolling. I'm still not 100% convinced that you're not, but if that is sincere, then no, I absolutely do not think you're a loser. But yeah, how did you end up with 350K with no job? What's the story there? There's got to be a story there. This is a great question. So, do you invest in Vegas, stocks like Las Vegas Sands or MGM? No, I didn't even know Sands was publicly traded. Is it? Let's go over to yeah, I guess it is. You know what, guys? Let's just take a look at all these. So, Las Vegas Sands, a little dividend, but yeah, that's not great. Let's look at this dividend history. When was it cut? Okay. So they basically just cut the dividend back in 2020 and then took a break from it for a few years. And looks like they just reinstated it. Looking at the financials. Yeah, that's not great. Yeah, I don't know. That doesn't look that good to me. Just based on those financials, I don't see the appeal. But so the Sands develops, owns, and operates resorts. It owns. Huh. So it's based in Vegas, but it does not say anything about the properties that they have here in Vegas. Our properties. Let's see if maybe we got a little something here. So Macau. This is interesting. Okay, so no Vegas properties, interestingly enough. MGM, so the two big casino operators here are MGM and Caesars. MGM doesn't pay a dividend, so that's automatically going to put it out of my jurisdiction. And then Caesars, let's see, same thing, no dividend there. So, which pretty much just leaves VICI, right? Like that's kind of the last Vegas-esque or Vegas-related company that I can think of. And I talked about this in a recent video, but this one, I've been very hot and cold with this company for probably too long. And I think it's a really great company. And I frequent a lot of the properties, the buildings that it owns. It owns the Venetian. We've got New York. We've got MGM. We've got Park MGM. And I think they own Excalibur too, but I don't ever go there. Did I say New York? I don't remember. Anyway, they own a lot of the great properties. And Caesars, obviously. They own a lot of great properties here on the Strip, and they have the option as well to buy, if the opportunity arises. They have the opportunity to buy. They basically have first dibs on the buildings where the Flamingo is, where Paris is, I think Planet Hollywood, and I don't think the Horseshoe. Maybe the Horseshoe was in there as well. But there were 3 or 4 different hotels right there, pretty much all next to each other, that they have first right of refusal to purchase if the opportunity arises. But anyway, long story short, VICI would be the one that VICI is one that I'm really heavily considering, but my holdup with it has always been, I have 3 other real estate investment trusts in my portfolio, and I just don't know that I want to add a 4th. I feel like that's too many REITs, but I do think it would be kind of a temporary thing. Over a long period of time, I could see myself eventually consolidating down to maybe just a couple of real estate investment trusts. So, and the longer I think about it, the more I think that's my holdup with it is probably not a good reason to not invest in the company. So I think it's honestly smack dab in the middle of my circle of competence, and I think it would be a pretty fitting addition for my personal portfolio. So. Andrew here says, my first live, I'm 39 years old. Do you calculate your dividends before or after tax? So here on my spreadsheet, this is all before tax. This is all before tax. So everything you see here is pre-tax. So. All right. Rob, fresh in the building. What's up? B Still, how is your KRC position working out? Not too bad. We can take a look at that. I'm down a little bit in share price, but nothing crazy. KRC just beat on both the top and bottom line for their quarterly earnings. So I'm down about 7.25% on a total return basis. I'm up 0.25%. So KRC is still chugging along. It sounds like there's some really positive stuff coming out of their neck of the woods, but it just takes some time to realize. So we'll see what happens with them. We will see what happens. Rob, what online platforms do you use to track dividend portfolios? I'll show you a couple of them. And I have all of the ones that I use, I have listed in the description of the video. There's 3 main ones that I use. The first of which is this portfolio tracking spreadsheet that we've been looking at here. So this guy, where is it here? Bear with me. There we go. This guy right here, this is my free portfolio tracking spreadsheet that I made, and you can download that in the description. I also do, a little bit of portfolio tracking stuff with Seeking Alpha, but it's not, I wouldn't look at Seeking Alpha as like a portfolio tracking platform. I usually just, what I use this for as it pertains to my portfolio is just to keep up with news and articles and stuff like that. And I'd say that's, at least for me, that's probably the biggest benefit to having Seeking Alpha Premium. GetQuinn is another portfolio tracker that I use. This is one of my favorite, like, excuse me, outside of my free portfolio tracker, this is hands down my favorite portfolio tracking tool. They give you I mean, it's a really clean layout in my opinion, and they give you so many great features for free. You can automatically track your portfolio for free and all that jazz. The one thing, or one of the couple things that are not free, are like this AI analysis here, but I don't think that any of us are really going to get a lot of use out of that, if I'm being honest. But otherwise, for looking at dividend projections and keeping track of transactions and diversification and everything else, I think GetQuinn's a really solid option. And then the last one that I use is Blossom, and they don't have a web platform, or else I'd pull it up. It's just a mobile app. But Blossom's another really great platform for tracking your portfolio. Let me see if I can show you a little bit of what it looks like here. I don't know if I'll show it in my Sunday video too, because one of the portfolios I'm reviewing is over here on Blossom, but you get a lot of good stuff on here as well. I know it's not going to focus. I apologize, but Blossom's another really good one. And once again, it's free. There's a link to that in the description. And the cool thing about Blossom, I would say more than a portfolio tracker, it is more so like a social media community. I look at Blossom and I think it's more like, it's kind of like Twitter, but specifically for investing, with an additional portfolio tracking section to it. And if you were looking for something like that, like another social media platform, I think Blossom is, I honestly enjoy being on Blossom a lot more than I do Twitter or X or whatever you want to call it. It's just, I'd say it's a much more positive community, a lot less trolling. And yeah, it's just an overall good place to be. So let's see. We got Lucas in the building. Good to see you, man. Hope you're doing well. Yes, good question. So does your portfolio take weight into account when averaging the growth rate of the portfolio? Yes. So the growth rate is weighted based on the allocations of each holding in the spreadsheet. Yeah. This is another great question as well. Any thoughts on selling options down the road? Yeah, I could see myself getting into it at some point, but I'm really in no rush to get into options. I don't know, for whatever reason, I just don't have an interest in doing it. I think I'll have to spend time just, keeping up with it and stuff like that. And I don't really want to do that right now, but maybe at some point in the future, I'll get more into options. Like maybe when I have more holdings that I have 100 shares or more of, I'll be more inclined to sell covered calls, but I don't have that many holdings. So, I don't have that many holdings where I have more than 100 shares. So let's see. Salvatore, how come VICI is a hot stock now? These Vegas casinos have been around forever. So VICI spun off from, I think they spun off from MGM back in the day. Or not back in the day, back in like 2017 or 2018. So VICI itself is a relatively newer company, and VICI is not a casino operator themselves. They just own the building and the land that these casinos sit on. So when you look at Caesars, they own the Caesars building, and Caesars Entertainment is the one who operates they're basically the tenant who operates the rooms and the casino and all that jazz. But the cool thing about VICI, and kind of, I guess, the surprising thing, so back when, like I said, they've only been around since maybe 2017, 2018, so not a long period of time. But during the pandemic, like 2020, when not many people were traveling, I actually came to Vegas July of 2020, and it was a ghost town. And I've talked to other people who lived here at the time, and they said you could ride your bike down Las Vegas Boulevard, down the strip, and same thing, it'd be a ghost town. There'd be no cars or nothing. And during that time, what I'm trying to get to is, during that time, when not many people were visiting here, the casinos still, basically VICI's tenants still paid all their rent. They collected 100% of their rent during that time, which is really cool. Now, if that's going to be the case next time we have a really serious downturn, I don't know. But I do know as time goes on, gambling revenue is still increasing. Like I think it's I think year over year, just for May or April, it was like 6% higher compared to last year. Same thing with room revenue, both here on the Strip and downtown near Fremont Street. That revenue continues to grow as well. So the casino operators are making more money, continuing to make more and more money, which should only mean that they will be able to continue paying their rent to VICI Properties. So hopefully that makes sense. And I'm very bullish on Las Vegas as a city. I'm probably biased because I live here, but because of that, I feel like I know a lot about the city. And actually, I spent a lot of time watching content and keeping my ear to the ground on things here in Las Vegas because I love it. Like I love the Strip. It's just such a fun place. And I watch a lot of this might be silly, but this might be silly because I live here, but I watch a lot of Las Vegas content creators. So a lot of there's a handful of really great YouTube channels who make content around Vegas. They'll do room reviews, restaurant reviews, buffet reviews, pool reviews, blog stuff as well, news and updates, that sort of thing. And they'll even do live streams and I watch a lot of these, probably more than I spend more time watching these than I should, of people just live streaming, walking up and down the Strip. There's a few creators who do it like multiple times a week. And, pretty much every single day, like I watch a lot of these, multiple ones per week. And every time I see it, no matter what time of day they're streaming, there's just always just a sea of people down on the Las Vegas Strip. So, and that's been my own experience as well. Anytime I go down to the Strip, it's just always been packed. So long story short, I feel very bullish on the city. And I think that's only going to bode well for VICI. So. Let's see. Let's keep going here. Good question. Clayton here. Where do you find dividend growth rate on Seeking Alpha? Let me jump over to Seeking Alpha real quick. I'll show you. So going over here, let's just say, what's a good stock we're going to look at here? Let's look at Starbucks. Why not? Pick Starbucks. So over here, you go up here, you search whatever stock, it'll pop up. You'll land on this main page here. You just go over to the dividends tab. Okay. And it'll take you to the dividend summary or the dividend scorecard. And if you scroll down, you can look at the 5-year dividend growth rate right here, this number right here. You can see some other highlights of the dividend as well, like the yield, payout ratio, and the dividend growth rate. Then you also have, excuse me, you also have these other little sub-menus over here where you can explore some of these in depth. So if we want to see some more growth metrics, we can see not only the 5-year dividend growth rate, but the 3-year and the 10-year as well. You can also see it on a chart right here, kind of like that, looking good. So yeah, that's how you find the dividend growth rate over on Seeking Alpha. This juice is really bomb. Okay. Oh man, this is a really tough question. And I actually want to hear your guys' response to this as well. I'd be curious to hear what your biggest pitfall or mistake was when starting to invest. I would say that my biggest pitfall was I think I went too heavy into individual companies too early on. When I first got started, I really didn't buy any ETFs. And I came into this without knowing really anything about investing or how to look at a company or analyze a company or anything like that. So I really didn't know what I was doing. And because of that, I really didn't have much business buying individual stocks. And the ones that I chose, some of them worked out pretty well. Some of them I still have today, like Starbucks. Starbucks was an early pick for me. I'm down on it right now, but Procter & Gamble was there as well. Coca-Cola was one of my earliest buys. So I never from the get-go bought anything super duper crazy. Johnson & Johnson was another early one. Chevron was another early one. So it was never really anything that crazy, but still in hindsight, it would have been better for me to just start with ETFs and learn to walk before I can run, because I did get burned on a few different companies just from not really knowing what to look out for, I suppose. And I'll show you some examples right here. So let me go back over to the spreadsheet. Some of my biggest losses have come from the stocks that I bought early on in my investing journey. Like 3M was also one of my earliest purchases here. And to date, this has been my biggest loser. So I lost quite a bit of money on 3M. And AT&T and Verizon were also two of my earliest picks. And yeah, those didn't really work out that well for me either. And if I would have avoided those and gone more the ETF route, then I probably would have been able to teach myself what to look out for without, I guess, having to learn the hard way. But at the same time, it was a good learning experience, I'd say. So it wasn't all negative. And I think there was, I guess if there was a silver lining, it would be that. But if I had to pick any sort of pitfall or mistake, it would be that. And for anyone who's just now getting into investing, I would, I'm a pretty big proponent these days for going heavy into ETFs. If you just have an itch that you need to scratch, where you need to buy some individual companies, that's fine. I totally understand that. And I think if that's going to help you adhere to this and continue to invest, and it's going to make it a bit more exciting and interesting for you, then I try it out. But start small. Still, if you're gonna do that, I would say still go heavy into ETFs, like 50%, at least 50% or more of your portfolio into ETFs, and then slowly over time build up your allocation to individual stocks. Excuse me, guys. My wife is texting me. I need to go pick her up from work. So let me ask her. It's 5:50 right now. Bear with me. I'm just going to text her back. Okay. I'll leave in just a few minutes. Is that okay? See what she says. But anyway, yeah, really good question. Thank you for asking that. And I hope that answered. And I'm excited to scroll down. I'm excited to scroll down and see what you guys have to say. So real quick though, Al says, I've tried downloading your spreadsheet tracker a few times, but it never makes it to my inbox. So unfortunately, sometimes it has a tendency to end up in your spam folder. If you don't see it there, shoot me an email and I will share the link with you. And my email, you can go find it like on the main page of my channel. Excuse me, I'm sorry. But my email is just ryan@retirewithryan.com. So if you send me an email, I will be sure to I'll be sure to get you the link. I'll make sure that you get taken care of. So, and I apologize for the trouble. I'm sorry that happened. So there we go. Nice. Thank you guys. Let's keep going. I'm about 10 minutes behind. Let's keep going here. Let's see what the wife said. She hasn't texted me back. I might have to pop off here in a moment, but we'll see. We'll wait till she replies and go from there. Yeah, 3M cut their dividend. They sure did. Fortunately, I sold out of them before they cut their dividend, but I still took quite a big loss on 3M. So I'm actually surprised. Another one I'm looking at here is Intel. I'm surprised that I made any money on Intel. That was pure luck, but yeah, like you said, it's the price we pay. Good learning experience for sure. For sure. Yeah, this is a good question, actually. When will you consider adding Google to your portfolio? I don't know. I don't know, but I like it. I'm stoked that Google's finally paying a dividend, and I think it's got a lot of the makings to be a really great dividend growth stock. So maybe at some point, yeah, maybe at some point. Yeah, I see some MPW talk, a little LEG, Leggett and Platt. Yeah, Shamir said, we also got caught up in the plant-based meat, green energy, Mary Jane, and other hyped up sectors and got burned on many of those fronts. Live and learn. Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. We'll get caught up in the chat. We'll wrap it up here so I can go swoop up my lady. Okay, looks like we're all caught up. I haven't seen any Any more comments from Mike from earlier? I really wanted to know more about how he acquired that 350K portfolio with no job. I think he's trolling. I think he was just trolling. Yeah, Steve said, I was greedy and went for the high dividend stocks, learned my lesson. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's one a lot of us have to learn the hard way as well, for sure. You ever been to Europe, Ryan? No, I've never been to Europe. I'd love to go to Europe at some point. That'd be fun. I'd really like to go to England, actually. Yeah. Yeah, that's kind of what I think too. It's okay. Anyway, guys, yeah, we're gonna wrap it up here. I think this is a good place to call it. But with that, thank you guys so much for hanging out with me this last 50 minutes. I'm sorry we got to cut it 10 minutes short, but this was fun. I hope you guys had a good time. And I hope you guys have a fantastic weekend. Thank you once again for all the support, for all the time, and for hanging out with me. And definitely tune into Sunday's video. We'll see how it goes. Like I said, it could be a bust, but I think it's going to be a fun one to make. I've already had fun with it, just like putting together my notes for it. So, but yeah, thank you guys again. I hope you guys have a fantastic weekend, and I will see you in the next one.